Thank you, Professor Saloni Sinha. Respected Dr. M.P. Puniaji, Vice Chairman, AICTE, my fellow panelists, the deans, directors, chairmen of business schools from all parts of India. This is like a mini Mahakumbh of management education. So kudos to the heroic efforts of Amit Agnotri for last 11 years, and only due to COVID, for 2 years it could not be organized. We met last time in Delhi 2019 and we talked about NEP. I would like to just apprise and set the context in the very beginning so that our chief guest, Dr. Puniaji, can understand the context in which we are holding this roundtable. He is at the helms of affair, and we have been in close touch with the chairman, Dr. Sahasrabudhe since 2016, where he joined as chairman of AICTE. I would like to say that management education has passed through tumultuous changes during last 27 years. I count that PGDM program got a boost when AICTE started working as a statutory body 1994 onwards. At that time I was working at AICTE, so I know the insider story. IIMs started in 1961. The first time was started at Kolkata, November 13, 1961, and the first IIT was inaugurated by then Prime Minister on August 18, 1951 at a detention camp set up by Britishers, which was called Hejili Camp. So IIM started, they were facing a dilemma that should these institutions be affiliated with some university or they should be autonomous similar to IITs. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the visionary leader, suggested to the government that under the yoke of university system, management education cannot grow, they should be autonomous. And then journey continued. When 91 reforms started, there was a huge demand for MBAs which could not be fulfilled by the IIMs. So AICTE thought that it should find out a way that there can be two kinds of programs affiliated with the university system or non-affiliated standalone PGDM institutions. MDI came into existence 50 years back. Before that, MDI and XLRI and IMT were existing, SP Gen was existing. But it was in 1994, the big boost was given to management education. And right now, there are 383 PGDM institutions and affiliated MBA institutions are 2,704, total 3,087 business schools in India. And I want to tell the truth that this roundtable is not about the management education, it is about the future of PGDM institution. NEP 2020 and PGDM institutions, which are now called standalone institutions also in the draft of National Education Policy, and there is slight change in the topic, that is opportunities and challenges, not structure, opportunity and challenges. So I want to make it clear, we shall confine to only discuss the future of roadmap for PGDM institutions and not the entire management education. Secondly, I would like to say that after 1991, PGDM institutions grown very fastly, exponentially, because earlier norms were very lenient. The B school setting up a PGDM institution was allowed only even in a rented premises. So now, when NEP has been announced last year, about 16, 17 months back, our hopes are rekindled, and we are in a big thought movement, churning movement, that what should be the future of PGDM institution in the light of the various provisions made by NEP 2020, which are relevant for management education. First basic question is how to protect our autonomy, because PGDM regulations of AICTE started in 1994, provided a big scope for innovation and experimentation, and now we have reached to the same place after enjoying this autonomy. Of course, there was an aberration which was made in 2011, and for which we have to go to the court also. But the chairman, Dr. Sahasrabudhe, resolved our problems by 2018, and now our autonomy issue is almost restored pre-2010. Now, there are two basic issues: that what should be, how to protect the autonomy, and second, what should be the future roadmap for PGDM institutions. Because next 20 years is the horizon for implementation of NEP. Because NEP is talking about targets, certain targets for 2035 or 2040. And country like India, I think it is very difficult to implement or put a horizon of 10 years or 5 years. Already we have lost 1.5 years without preparing a roadmap or implementation plan. There has been serious problem of global pandemic, which has affected the working of governments all over the world. So higher education or NEP may not be getting a smooth progression in coming years, but definitely it has to see the sunlight, it has to see the implementation, and we have to find out our roadmap. And for that, we look forward to the regulator, we look forward to academicians, we look forward to the checkered and tumultuous history of management education in India, and also we would like to learn from the global experiences of Ivy League business schools. I thank Agnotri for connecting us with thought leaders around the world every year, and we know that India has to compete. And if India has to compete with Ivy business schools and global management education, we have to always tune towards the future. And future roadmap in the light of NEP 2020, we have to keep in mind next 10 years will be very exciting because of not only the global climate issues, sustainability issues, but most important is intervention of disruptive technology. Exponential technologies like AI, machine learning, and virtual reality, augmented reality, 3D printing, robotics, etc., etc. And it has created a new phenomena in higher education. And I would like to say that today's roundtable, it is not only for the directors, but even other other stakeholders are also part of this roundtable. The Asia head of Coursera is in this panel, Mr. Raghav Gupta, and we also have representation of the promoters. Shri Japuriaji is the promoter, one of the promoter of leading these schools in our country. So I would like to say that we have a very exciting times. There are plenty of opportunities, but very big challenges we are likely to face from the EdTech companies, from the MOOCs, and from the health issues, social issues, and one of the biggest challenge will be that in all these possibilities and opportunities and challenges, how to chart out a roadmap for the country, for PGDM institution. As has been said by Amit Agnotri, that we will record the observations made by the panelists in this roundtable. We will record the views expressed by some directors after this, the panelists will complete their discussion, and we will also talk to the policy makers. We will prepare a roadmap for PGDM institutions, that what should be the future roadmap and how can their autonomy can be protected and how can they face the onslaught of exponential technology and disruptive technologies and the socio-economic cultural environment which is changing very fastly, and it will affect the industry and business. And World Economic Forum has already talked about that now we have landed in Industry 4.0. So how Industry 4.0 is to be incorporated in business education, all these issues are before us. Now I will request Honorable Vice Chairman AICTE, Dr. Puniaji, to address this conclave, this roundtable, and guide us that how the regulator can help us for the PGDM institutions which are working very hard to provide a healthy quality education, management education for the management requirements of Indian industry. Thank you.